Dr. Uma. I think excellent presentation and very, very informative. There have been lot of doubts in the mind of the faculty. Starting from, I think the beginning point is where to access this list. What is the correct list and where to access this list? Because it has, like you said, it has undergone a number of revisions.
Yeah.
So I have two questions. One is that if a faculty wants to access the latest UGC approved care list, which is inclusive of all disciplines, right?
Yeah.
So how do we access it? What is there a particular link or site
Uh,
wherein it is displayed? Yeah.
on UGC website, there is this care list portal only, separate.
Okay.
So that you can check the list.
So that is the updated list. Whatever
Yes,
is
yes.
there on the
Yeah,
UGC.
whatever is there in that list is the final one, which is approved at all three levels and included in the list.
Okay. That was the first thing. The second thing I wanted to ask you was for autonomous colleges, Dr. Joshi, we have our own
Uh,
IQAC committees and cells, and we are
yeah,
not linked with the university. Like we function as almost as an independent body.
yeah.
So, is it possible that an autonomous college IQAC committee can write to the care cell directly? We can mark a CC. Normally, what we do is we keep the university in information, but not that there is no routing of letters through the university.
Okay, okay. So I think in a covering letter you can mention, hello,
Yes, yes, yes. I
huh,
can hear you.
you can mention in the covering letter that you are an autonomous college, and I think that will help. There won't be much of problem there,
Okay, fine, fine. Yeah,
because you are not routing anything through university and your IQAC is independent.
correct.
So just mention it in the covering letter. When the IQAC coordinator forwards it, just put a letter with that, and I think that will help.
Okay, okay. Fine. So I think there are some questions in the chat box we can go through. Yes, Armaiti, would you like to take over?
Yes, I'm reading out some of the questions in the chat box.
Yeah.
One is, thank you, ma'am, for the informative session. My question is, why are journals of high repute like Springer and Elsevier have less weightage of marks in API as compared to some of the care journals?
Mhm. High repute, but where are they listed? In which database? That now is more important. See, we may consider, see, I'll tell you, I'll give you a very simple example. There is one journal which is being published by Gujarat Vidyapit, Ahmedabad, for last more than 50 years, 54 or 56, something like that. And, for all these years, it has become a very popular journal, and many good writers have also published in that journal. So, but it has not, it doesn't have ISSN number even.
Okay.
Now, it is not listed anywhere, but it came for as a, I mean, its application came to us. It did not have ISSN number and all that, but because it has a good track record of 56 years publication and all that quality, and then we have gone through the hard copy and all those things, we did recommend that journal. So high repute, how do you decide? Because these, there are traditional measures like peer review, impact factor, reputation of journal that we used to consider earlier. Now, new criteria are like rank indicators and Google Scholar, Scopus, journal citation reports and indexes and all. So these are new ones. So when all these will be put together, that will decide whether the journal is of a high repute or not. So our considering high repute is not going to now help. It has to pass through the protocol, and if that satisfies, then only it will be high repute,
So,
and therefore it may have more, I mean, less API score, because it may not be there in any database.
Okay. So what you're saying is, Dr. Joshi, that supposing we want to recommend certain journals based on our disciplines, which we feel are really highly rated, we can, do this kind of scrutiny or analysis of
Yes,
whatever you just shared
yes.
with us,
Huh.
and we can
Yeah,
send a proposal to you all so
yeah.
that you can review it and kind of
Huh.
get that journal become a part of the UGC.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, okay.
Because
So
good journals must get listed in the final list. Then
correct.
only it helps us. And in home science, what happens? Ours is a multidisciplinary.
Hmm.
So the journals from other disciplines also. We have been publishing articles in them. So we want to recommend because textile and nutrition and all these are the kind of courses where other pure science, technology, and clothing, all areas will be covered in journal.
Correct.
So wherever they are publishing so frequently and they are quality journals, they must apply.
And also a query about impact factor. There are so many types of impact factors given on the web, you
Hmm.
know. So as per your checklist, what is the abbreviation or any guideline for checking on the impact factor?
Impact factor generally, very simply, whenever people just check or verify, they take up citations divided by publication. Okay, so impact factor of the journal. So how many where I mean, how many places it has been cited, that journal, its articles, and that is divided by the publication, how many publications have cited how many things from that. So when you divide citations by the publication number, whatever index you get is the impact factor. Whereas in the Scopus it is a bibliographic database, so where citation and abstracts, at present there are more than I think about 20 more than 23,000 titles in the Scopus. And the other one is Web of Science also. This is a website which provides, subscription based access to multiple databases which provide citation data. So citation index, impact factor includes the citation index, citations, number of citations divided by publications, and that is the index. So how many times your article is cited by how many authors or researchers or whosoever may.
Okay. So Almighty, I'll
If
just
I
take
may,
it. Yeah, yeah.
just one this thing here, ma'am. But as far as even like we have the UGC care list, which is there, but
Uh,
we also can publish in the Scopus and in the Web of Science,
yes, yes,
right? That is
definitely. Yes,
also
yes. Yeah.
valid for all of us.
Yes, yes.
Like if the journal is in a Scopus and in
Yeah.
under their this thing, then there is no problem in
Huh.
publishing in that.
Because in Group A, UGC
Group
has already
A cross
approved.
gives you that
Huh.
permission
So Group
to.
A category, they have already instruct. I mean, earlier the directive was to take the not to evaluate these journals,
Hmm.
but later on, some queries came up about these journals also. So we were told that even if it is in Scopus, at least evaluate it and put it in care list also.
So it's
Okay.
going into both.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
some
yes.
of them
Both.
have gone into
Both. Yeah,
the
they will
care.
go in both. Yes,
But
yes.
Dr. Karolia, like I said, that we as home scientists can make an effort to get all our good journals, which may be in Scopus or Web of Science,
Right.
put in through these committees and get them on board in the care list, so that
Exactly.
it becomes,
We must.
yeah, we must do that.
Yeah.
I
And
think,
especially in all the five, like, textiles may be having some journals which we know are very good. And we've seen it, like I
Yes.
know from the textile, the good ones are out of the care list.
yeah,
Hmm.
They are not there anymore. They were there earlier in the care list, but in the new one which has come, it's not there anymore. So
yeah.
I think
Have
we
they
need
gone
to
through
be
this
again,
process?
giving those, like filling up all the data and giving it to.
Yeah, I think. But have these journals gone through this process?
I don't know. That's why this is
So
what what
that's what I'm
even
saying,
Jagmeet
that
is
there
saying,
are
that
some,
we must
yes,
put it again.
in home,
Make an
in
effort
home
of putting
science,
these journals in.
yes,
And
Like,
I think
in home,
our IQAC committees should become very active, and
yes,
we should put in these proposals very quickly, because what happens when the NAC visit happens, or when those data are verified, very often they go by the the UGC care list, and we
yeah,
may lose out. They may
yeah,
just say, no, it's not indexed in your UGC care list. So we
yeah.
have seen that happening. There is a
see,
question.
some universities, in some universities, now it is being strictly followed that if it is listed, your publication is in a listed journal, then only they get the score. But some universities, like for example, our university, we checked with our authorities, and they said that if it is not in a listed journal or not peer reviewed journal, at least they give a 5 score. So all universities are not following the same norms at present. So it is kind of, it differs from university to university, but it would be advisable to, slowly shift to the care list only, yeah, Web of Science, I mean, Scopus, or wherever it is listed, all the other journals also. Then that will be safer, at least for all those young
Teachers.
teachers and all. They must become more conscious about it,
Yeah.
because old may not have so much time left and may not require that, but the young generation and upcoming teachers, they should become conscious about it.
Ma'am, there is a question in the chat box. It says Panchali wants to say that besides checking the UGC CARE website to access the names of the listed journals, there are several agencies that sell the list of UGC approved journal list for a nominal charge. Is there any approved publication or book that can be purchased by the Institute for Ready Access by the
I'm
student faculty in an offline
uh,
form?
sorry, I'm
Uh,
not aware of
yeah, I could
these
answer
other
this.
agencies.
Now the UGC care list, even if I want it, I have to purchase it. I mean, there is a nominal fee for it, even if I go onto the website and I want to download it. It's not there like earlier we used to download it for like, just take it down.
Yeah,
But now there is a kind of a charge that they are. So I think institutes will have to just get it for like each institute for their own faculties.
So
I think that would
this
be,
payment is to be made on the website only? It's an online
yeah,
payment?
that is what, like just about, I think I got to know this about a month back when we wanted to take down this thing. So that time, one of the teachers told me, then I had gone to the website to see because I couldn't believe it that, because we always did download it from but it is a fact. It doesn't get downloaded unless you register and then you have to pay for that particular this thing. So I think now we'll have to, all institutes might have to,
Register.
have this thing. So the library has it.
yeah.
I know our library has that whole list
Okay,
to,
we could do that.
So
so
those who want to select the best journal, knowing the this citation index and all, there is one source, JCR. It is called JCR, Journal Citation Reports. JCR. You can look into that and check the citation index of the journal.
Okay. Okay.
So we try to find out and verify from these sources: Web of Science, Scopus, Google Scholar, Rank Indicators, SJR Indicator. All these were the sources. There was, I mean, now you must have understood. There is so much of work which has gone into at least recommending one journal. So
Correct.
much of verification, checking, confirming, and all that goes on. And publication history is also very important. If the journal is good but not published regularly, we had that one in communication, I don't remember, but it was a good journal, but it didn't come out regularly. So those kind of journals will not get the place in the listing, even if they are good. And we can't help it because it's left to the publisher and the owner of the whole this thing. So the histories also have sometimes come in the way of recommending the journal. Peer reviewed is, I think now they have become very conscious, and some it is, I think it is recommended that reviewers should not be the part of editorial board. Many journals, what they are doing is their editorial board is of 40 people, and from they only are the reviewers. But just if you look at the quality indicator, then it is not good. So this Armaiti was asking me about that impact factor. No, it's a minimum average of citations received over a 2-year period for a journal. Measurement of average citations received over a 2-year period by the journal. And if it is not impact factor, there can be other factors also to determine whether the journal is of a good repute or not. It's not only impact factor that we put the weightage on. There are so many other criteria also.
API is given as per the impact factor. You know, the cutoffs are based on the impact factor.
Yeah. Impact
So
factor is important.
That is where impact factor becomes important, you know.
Yes. Because now universities, if they become strict, I mean, there is no other way out. You have to go by the impact factor of the journal. But as I told you, in some universities, still they are, considering that this is of a high repute, but it does not have impact factor of this particular level and all. So at least minimum 5 score to be given and all. But we came to know when we had a meeting that some universities have become very strict about it, and some have considered some cases, especially humanities and social sciences.
And just
this governing body of the journal is very important. As I told you, from one department, 5 teachers become the editorial board and governing body of the and management of the journal and all that. Then it goes against. It does not reflect the quality and standard, because you have so many experts outside your university also. So if you must have a good editorial board, good set of reviewers, and that gives a good standing to your publication, means journal.
Yeah. Another thing is just talk about H index also, ma'am, because I think there may be many of us who are sitting here, they're not clear.
That
I think,
H index. Hello.
Yeah.
Citation impact of the publications of a scholar, that is H index of a person.
I think how many of them have got beyond, like if one article of yours has got more than 10 citations, then you get a point for that, if I'm not wrong. I think one is about 5 and the other one is about 10. One is the H index and the other one is the I index. So one of them is, if you have more than 5 citations to one article, which you have published, and the other one is if you have 10 and beyond to one in a particular period.
There is another dimension to that also. Supposing you have 10 citations, then at least 10 people should have quoted you. One person quoting you 3 times, citing you 3 times in his article, that should not, that is not considered. 10 people, if you have 10 citations, at least 10 people must have cited you.
In 10 different articles.
Yes.
Or
similarly,
publications.
But in the AQAR, when they ask us for citations and H index, etc., it obviously refers to papers which are not in that academic year, because it's very difficult to get citations on papers of that particular academic year immediately. So that is also a very big drawback.
No, but Armaiti, the experts also know about this problem. When you explain or mention,
in AQR changes, this thought process has to be in the form.
It happens sometimes. We also have come across this kind of explanations, but experts whosoever come to visit or evaluate, they are also aware of this particular fact.
Another very absurd thing which I found was that many times we do publications together, and globally the protocol is the person whose name is last is the senior most person in the whole group. That's the protocol which is followed. Now when it comes to scoring, I came to know that it's, of course, first author is the first author, but there is 50% distribution of marks between first and second author. The moment you go to third or fourth author, the marks become, I think, 30% or something like that. I mean, I don't know how do you relate this, because I would consider the senior most person to be cited last, as that's the protocol which you follow globally. I don't know. You want to say something to this? It was a news to me. Like, I was quite.
No,
I
as
think
far as
here
I
now what
know,
we have is that
it was,
I think it's like at least in our university when we put down our scores, it's on not about the first and the last, but it's if it's a joint one, then you get an equal this thing or 30% of it, or like the equal scoring that is being done for. So I think these things are going to be.
It's very strange, very
no,
strange.
and
So,
I
and who
remember for,
gets even about whether, like you're saying, across we have the senior most and the last author, but like if you see the site these things when we are doing it in India, the senior most comes as the first also. Because we're used to having the first person's name
yeah.
as the senior most as far as. So I think it just very regional specific, or I don't know which way to
No,
put it.
I
To
remember the discussion related to this, and they said, for example, PhD, if somebody is writing article, research article based on his or her PhD thesis, then naturally the researcher comes first. He is
Obviously.
the
yeah.
first author.
Uh,
Okay, and like that for any research article, whosoever is the researcher, the supervisor's name comes second. That is what was discussed.
Yeah.
And many people had questioned that also, because that MSc person writing a research article, it is almost a teacher's job only. Teachers is checking each and every word of it, and almost like a writing. So there a lot of discussion went into this, and but PhD, I clearly remember that the researcher becomes the first author.
okay.
Certain things are left to the discretion of the authorities, I think, a university philosophy and their thinking and
I,
all
I
those things.
think I think, ma'am, for API scoring, especially for research component, because it's such a strong component, which is,
Yeah,
which you take it for associate professor, professor grade, emeritus.
yes,
So there should be some standard,
it should
document,
be. Yes.
which one can refer, and
Uh-huh.
it should be standardized across India. I mean, we can't be talking different languages, and every time the scrutiny committee comes, everybody has a different version to kind of
Yes. Yeah.
evaluate, and at that time you're at the receiving end, you don't know what to say, you know so, but I feel this is again a recommendation to the UGC care committee, that I mean, if we have started standardizing the list, we can even standardize the the standard way of giving an API score for the category 3 component, like
That
crystal clear.
I don't think that will come in the purview of the care committee
Mm.
to decide the weightage and all that, because mostly I've seen that at university level, there are committees which are formed to decide the weightage and all that, how it will be given, and what will be the division of the percentages amongst the authors, and when they are joined, or as Dr. Karolia said, I think there's a lot of things which are being decided at university level. But of course, I agree that UGC must have some guideline about it as to how to distribute the weightage related to this.
Yeah, because when you have CAS, you have experts coming across India to interview the person. You're looking at the
Yeah,
score. So I think
yeah,
we all should be talking the same language. That's important.
yes, yeah, that's
Um,
very much needed.
Uma ma'am, I have a question. Especially if it is a national journal which is published for a long period of time in Scopus and also listed outside, then is that journal considered an international journal or a national journal?
No, it will be, if it is a national journal published here only in India, by Indian publisher and all, it is a national journal. They give these days, the international journal and such titles
Right.
do give, but in the history and origin of the journal, it goes as a national journal only.
So the scoring is based on the national journal
Yes,
point of view.
yes.
Oh,
I think Bhamini has given a point here. It's now difficult to get reviewers as people do not have the time, or they want to be associated with well-known journals. Then too, our local journals may lose out.
Yeah.
there
No,
is another question. Sorry.
Yes,
Ma'am,
yes,
please
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
I think you can take help of the retired people like us in reviewing. If the people means people do not have time, I think these retired people can help out in that.
There is another question, and I think it's related to criteria 3. Is there any SOP in public domain? How many books shall be published, papers published in journals to score maximum in this criteria? So accordingly,
No.
we can focus on.
No, I think scores have been decided, na? Total, like for professor, something like 500, for something 400 and all that. So that distribution, I think, is given by the university as to
I think
in each,
there is a capping for it.
yeah,
Ma'am,
for
they're
each
talking about
one.
NAC criteria 3. I think they're talking about NAC criteria
NAC
3.
criteria. Okay.
Research and publication. So if there is any, what it has been, I'll just read out the complete
In
message.
NAC, what they do, I mean, for a very, very rough procedure they do is that number of publications that you are putting in your report divided by number of teachers. So how much the average comes to? Okay, so that decides, like, if your average is 5, then at least one person is publishing 5 articles in 5 years.
So what is a good average? 5, 10, 1?
No, there is nothing like a good average. I have gone for so many NAC this thing, but like one person publishing just one is on number from number point of view, you may find, oh, just one publication per year, it's too less. Like in our university, first time what happened, most of the publications are in home science, technology, science, and social work, and others are not I mean, into so much of public. So when you divide, what happens, that the average came less than 5, and they said your publication is very low. I'll just put my.
So in short, I think it is that if every person publishes a good amount, I think everybody, like, you get an average of the right. But, if you have to balance out some who have no publication with some people who have a high number of publications, because when you're giving it a NAC, then it's for the whole institution.
Right.
And in our case, it happens for the whole university. So it becomes even more difficult to, and then with a lot of temporary staff, whether you're counting them into your temporary or not, into your number of faculty, all that will also make a difference so it does, there are a lot of, I think, ways of looking at how to do the calculation for,
because ours is unitary university, we don't have colleges. So the I mean, average comes out very low because we have UG, PG, everything, in the university.
Under one.
So average always gets affected.
I know these are very, very practical but very important aspects, because at the end of the day, it's the institution which is getting the grade, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
And one very, in a lighter vein, I would like to share, if the relations between the IQAC coordinator and the teacher are not good, then the journal does not get processed further.
Oh.
This has happened. People keep calling me, and I said, "You apply," but then they said that IQAC is not forwarding it. So
Oh.
this kind of problems also people face, and they just share with us.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, no, I think Dr. Uma, we will, at least I'm talking on behalf of Armighty, that we will definitely make an effort to, send some proposals of good journals,
Good.
which we have observed that, are very good journals, but they're not there in the UGC care list. Uh, in fact, my own Journal of Indian Dietetic Association, JIDA, we wanted it to become a part of this, but I'll do the process.
Uh-huh.
I can
And
send it through the college. Yeah,
if you do not get the format, then you just let me know. I will mail it.
yeah, we'll do that. Yeah. And how good is it to have your own research journal from the college? I mean,
It's always good, but what will happen that immediately you will not be able to apply, because you have to give the history also, no? That
mhm,
how many publications have come out and all that.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
This question was raised by many teachers, that
mhm.
we are starting our own, whether we can apply for that. Then we said that you have to have at least 5 publications out to say that you're consistent and you're regular, and this is your mission, and you are fulfilling all the protocols.
Okay,
So you just start, and you can will apply, then it may not help.
okay. I think Avani wants to say we must also be careful about cloned journal. Check
Yeah,
that
that is
you're
another
not
major,
sending your
major
article about.
problem.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
can you elaborate on what is this cloned journals?
Actually, the journal name, exists in the list of UGC Care list journal.
Hmm.
And when we send the article, they accept it and publish it. Maybe they have a review committee. Everything you will find, even the impact factor and everything. And they will ask for just processing charges and all. And once you send it, they publish it. And because you haven't looked into the UGC website where clone journals list is also there.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
there's just a tiny bit of difference in adding a S, or, the spelling of some particular, or interchanging the two words here or there. Like, so you'd feel that it is there in this list, but when you go into the ISBN number, it is different.
Yes. Yes.
And then you realize that this is not in the care list.
Right.
So
Right.
then I think we should have both the lists with us.
The cloned list is there.
Cloned
It's
list
there.
as well as the UGC, so that we
Yeah.
must look at it carefully.
We
Right.
have that list of, maybe I can just put it over here.
Yeah.
I remember Nija sharing this with us once.
So Dr. Karolia, please share.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know whether Nija is here on the, but she had sent us the link for the cloned. UGC has put that up also.
Okay.
Definitely, I'll share with everybody. Just give me minutes.
Nija is there, right?
Okay. So Nirja, please share that with all of us. You can share it with Armighty also, not a problem.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh,
It's there on the UGC website also. I've taken from there itself.
okay. So just if it's easy access, you can put the link. That'll be nice.
I'm just searching. If I'll get, I'll just share right.
Otherwise, just WhatsApp to Armighty. She can circulate it to everybody. That's not a problem.
Sure.
Yeah. Or maybe Dr. Karolia can WhatsApp to me. Not a problem.
I'll do it.
Yeah. Okay. What is Ragini? Yeah. Sorry. Yes, Armighty.
Yes, ma'am. I was just about to read the chat. Ragini is, as to what is the main criteria to get approved even if the score is 9 out of 10?
Please repeat your question.
As to what is the main criteria to get
Hmm.
approved, even if the score is 9 out of 10?
9, even if you are getting a score on the other points, and if you're not getting, for example, on the editorial board, an editor's information, which is very important, then we just don't recommend. It is highly incomplete, okay, or not reliable. Or even if they have given the information and we feel that it is just for the sake of it and nobody is working as editor, sometimes as I told you, we call up and find out also whether they are really working on editorial board or not. So sometimes they have given information and still we don't recommend because I mean, it is doubtful. It is not giving the impression of that it is reliable information, and therefore we just don't recommend it. And another thing is strictly that UGC has said about money. They charge money and they publish in 15 days and in a month and all. That also goes highly against.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.